Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome once again to SRW TV. Tonight, it's round 9, the penultimate round of our American invasion of the V8 Radicals series. It's Cowie, your average sim racer here, together with Chef Toddy on comms.
Much love, legends!
And Nathan Shibby Howard behind the scenes, looking after all the cameras on tonight's action. A short 85-mile journey has brought the cars and crews to Detroit Belle Isle, where the concrete walls loom everywhere and the bumpy track makes avoiding them mighty difficult sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So, expect, I think the safety car will be out for sure tonight, and I'm sure you agree, Toddy.
Oh, mate, it definitely will be. I did some practice laps around here this afternoon, and in these cars, I knew it was bumpy in other cars, and I've driven in other cars, but in the Radical SR8, it's crazy bumpy, and you feel every single one of those bumps, especially into those braking points as well. I found into the braking points, especially as where they're going into, just come out of just now, that first corner there. It's so bumpy. As you come down that straight, it gets so bumpy in the braking point, and that's what's going to make them really, maybe their RCN step out a lot more in these cars than they might usually, because of those bumps in that braking point.
Well, look, I'm a man that drives the V8 supercar, and they tend to eat bumps for breakfast. But I do know that I got manhandled a little bit last night in the official race,
And
and
that was around here, was it?
it certainly was, buddy. These cars are a little bit smaller. Perhaps they can go side by side because it can be pretty tight and hard to pass around here. You've sort of almost got to force an error. So it'd be interesting to see how these guys tackle it tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. And those V8s can handle a lot more bumps than these things can. And I even had to turn down the old direct drive quite a bit just so I could get around here, because it was shaking my arms off, to be honest. So I don't envy these guys tonight. Hopefully they can get some pace, but these guys are already averaging in practice. They were averaging around those 125s, 126s. So should see some fast times tonight, Chikawi.
Look, it's a great track to drive. We're talking, 3.8 Ks, 14 turns, and it's a track that's built on the Detroit River. It's well known for its beautiful landscape as well as the significant features, like several of them that appear as you go around the track. So there's that fountain near turns 9 and 10, and you've got the Detroit skyline, and apparently you can even see into Canada. But track surface, mate, it is pretty unique. Multiple surface types. You've got concrete, you've got worn polished concrete, and then old asphalt. So each of them perform a little bit differently. And as you said, where they connect and where those bumps are, it's going to throw these little things around. And we've already seen in 9 or 8 rounds so far that they can be a little bit tricky in the rear end. And, the last thing you want is instability under braking and when you're trying to put the power down, because that's just going to, compound the problem.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, he slapped the wall there. Oh, Mr. Sigovich, what have you done there? Slap the outside of that brick wall, and that just illustrates exactly how easy it is to get a little bit sideways on these bumps, because as you come through that point, you think you've got it, and you're either on the brakes or on the gas. On this track, with the bumps, you're either on the brakes or on the gas. Would you agree, Kelly?
Sure, I haven't really done any time around here in the V8 Radical. I've got too much supercar driving going on at the moment, mixed in with my real life, to be able to spend any time in other cars. And I suppose that's one of the things that a lot of us can struggle with. It's good evening to John C. and Bluesman out there, boys. Good to see you back on board with the stream. But yeah, look, it's so I haven't really experienced how hard these cars are around here. I did do the F3s around here, some practice when the F3s were here earlier in the season, and that was pretty bumpy. So I'd expect it to be something similar.
Yeah, I'm sure Lewis Hamilton wouldn't want to be going around this track. We've seen over the last couple of bits.
Oh, the porpoising debate. Yeah.
the porpoising debate, etc., etc. You know, that's been very interesting to see that.
Oh, starting to get fiery amongst the teams, mate. So it's all
is,
happening there in F1.
All of those
But
undercarriage dramas, etc., undercarriage downforce that hasn't been allowed since many years ago because they outlawed it, and now they've brought it back, and now it's definitely leveled the playing field. Let's say that.
John C just saying there's a bit of lag tonight. Well, he says lots of lag tonight, but let us know if it fixes itself, John, or if it stays laggy. Shibby will have a look behind the scenes and see if he can do anything about it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that Shibby's already on it, so that's good to see. But yeah, look, into qualifying here at Belle Isle. Again, this is a fixed setup series, guys, so I think it's 50% fuel. We may see 2 fast repairs tonight. I wonder if the SRW admin gods have deemed it a worthy place to give 2 fast repairs to. I do know that when the F3s were here, they had 2 fast repairs, but those cars are a little bit more fragile than the SR8. You can bang these things up a little bit, and you know, if you don't know about it, I think sometimes the performance, you don't really notice a bent rear wing or a dented front spoiler, but you notice it when the steering's not going straight, that's for sure. Dean Sinkovic just
wow,
losing it there. No, was that? Might have been Steven, actually, by the looks of that. Having a nice bit of fun in these cars. It's just, again, there's no weight to them. 600-700 kilos with driver, and the amount of torque that these things are put out just means if you stamp on that accelerator, it's gonna light it up, and there's no weight in the rear to keep it connected, and that's what we keep seeing week after week.
Yeah, and especially on this such a bumpy track into these braking points, as you can see these guys coming down to this corner here, it's such and the surface change as well. So bumpy on that tarmac, and then you come into the concrete, and it kind of smooths out, but you're trying to keep on the brake pedal, like you're trying to hover on the brake pedal as you come down, and not trying to put the arse end out, because it's hovering the whole way through, so it's getting squirrely the whole way through not only the braking point, but the actual exit of the corner as well, which is makes it very difficult.
Well, we're having a look at Nathan Verney at the moment, who seems to be doing pretty good there. Just noticing he's trying to sort of stay away from the curb, so he did clip a little bit of the blue curb there into, was that T7 or T8, I think. But at the moment, it is Tyson McAvoy out in front with a 124.1, and he's got 0.4 of a second over Stephen Callahan, currently with a 124.5. We are only 7.5 minutes, almost coming on 8 minutes into the session, so there still is plenty of time. I think you will find that our resident alien, Scott Callahan, has been out there and done some practice, and he's probably going to sit out quali and try and start from the back again to give us a bit of action.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll, with the smaller field again tonight, I'm sure he'll be out there smoking on all cylinders and
he did
smashing through the field.
He did say he enjoyed his race last week and having to work his way through the field. There's a couple of moments early on. We do have the infamous wall ride by Mr. Steven Sinkovic that will constantly get replayed on the annals of SRW TV, I'm sure, because there was a pirouette in there and a kickflip and everything else.
It was. Yeah, it was a nice kickflip. And then last week, what was it? Pop shove it last week. So, and the week before it was a kickflip. So not bad from the Sinkovic boys there.
Right, see if anyone out there in TV land or YouTube or Facebook land is spotting for one of the drivers. You could just let us know if there's 1 or 2 fast repairs. Would be interesting to know. I think these things are a little bit more durable than the F3, but they still don't like hitting walls. And as we've seen before, they're just a very hard car. They're not a super hard car to drive. They're a hard car to drive fast. Very easy to overdrive and lose the rear. And that really seems to be the trouble that gets most of the drivers in trouble. is when that rear starts to go, and it's almost like you've got to completely come out of the gas and almost all inputs, straighten it up and just let it coast to get it back. That was my experience from driving him back in season 1. Anytime you try to power out of a slide or try to ride the slide, it seems that the thing fights you.
Yeah, 100%. It's not one of those cars that you want to use all of your accelerator to get out of the corner as you would with a lot of other cars. You know, GT3s, GT4s. You want to be you want to be using that grip to get out of the corner, but a lot of these times you need to make sure this thing's straight before you get on the gas.
Yes, well, I can just see. Thanks for that. Yep, John C and Bluesman just saying it seems to be improving for the guys out in YouTube land, so that's awesome. Just having a look at Leon Williams. Leon had a fairly eventful race last week. Was right in the thick of things, and then I think he had a big moment. Sort of was it towards the end of the race that really hurt his chances and damaged the car. I think with only about 4 or 5 laps to go, and I think at the time he was running P5. I think so.
Yeah, he was running very, very well, and he's just had a bit of a, you know, as it goes with the safety cars, etc., etc., and incidents happen and stuff happens. But you know, I'm sure he's come back bigger and better this week, and he's definitely learnt from last week's mistakes. So.
Oh, look, you know, I think, you know, Leon's been sort of one of the guys that, you know, hasn't been the quickest out there on the track, but he's been here every week and he's been right in the thick of it and racing, and I'm sure he's enjoying it. We might even try and get him in for a chat tonight, I think, because I don't think we've had him on the broadcast yet. So maybe if you can make a note of that and remind us of it later, Shibby, we might try and see if we can bring Leon in.
He's actually had some really good results and really good improvements, so he you know, they're not an easy car to drive, so I'm sure he's learning every single week and he's getting a lot better, and we've definitely seen that improvement, so good on Leon.
It's one of the things we see here, and you'll see in many of the leagues out there in iRacing and across the officials as well, but there is, you know, varying degrees of speed and talent and commitment, I suppose, is the other thing, you know, and then equipment as the big four. So, you know, you've got those guys that are just naturally quick on anything, and then you've got those guys that, you know, need to work hard at it to get it down. And then you've got the average Joes out there that don't really have the time to do that, and we, you know, drive as best we can. So, you know, but as I've always said, it's great when you can find a good league with some good drivers out there, respectful, and you'll always find those sort of battles with the, you know, at least a couple other guys out on track, and they'll just keep recurring. You keep having battles with those guys every week, and that's what can keep that enjoyment for you.
100%.
Having a look on board here with my team boss Tyson McAvoy, currently running in P2. Looks like Stephen Callahan has pipped him with a 1:24.06, and Tyson did a 1:24.15, so 900ths of a second separating the top at the moment. Nathan Burney about a half a second back at the moment, but you can see here, look at how bumpy that is. It'll be right on board.
Absolutely insane. I'd love to see the nose cam as well on a hot lap, because you can definitely see the tarmac change as well.
Well, Tyson in here, so, you know, again, we've said it takes about sort of at least 2 or 3 laps for the tyres to come up to temp here, so I'd say Tyson's there's burned off a good chunk of fuel and managed to keep the car out of the wall, so he can now come in, grab another fresh set of rubber, take a couple of out laps to get those up to speed, and then really have a go at a light fuel hot lap. And I suppose that's always the thing. In a simulator, you can you know, always press reset and have another go, you know, although as a fixed series it means you've got to start on the full fuel again, but at least it's not like real life. I was going to say, at least it's not like real life, you know, where you're in it and your weekend's done.
Yeah, then your weekend's done. At least you can actually reset it. You don't have to pay for the repair costs as well, or have to feel the shame from the repair costs. You can just quick repair and move on with your day.
Well, it does mean that, you know, we will see the guys sort of have a red hot go during quali, you know, because don't have to pay for things. and you're not risking your race coming up, we'll have a look and see where he breaks here. Or breaks at about the 300. That is deep.
Look how bumpy this is. Just crazy.
But it does look like
this doesn't even do it justice, I don't think. It looks bumpy, but it's in car, it's crazy.
He's keeping contact with the ground, and he's getting good drive out of these corners. Doesn't really, not really noticing the car sliding around or anything, though we are running on the, you know, sort of looking at the middle of the car, so that's always going to change. You know, if you're watching it from the rear, we might have seen it be a little bit more lively. No, well, we are 15 minutes gone now of qualifying, so looks like the guys are starting to sort of ramp up their times here.
Stephen Callahan out in the front as well, which is good to see. Stephen Callahan has had some mixed rounds in the last couple of rounds also, hasn't he? So Stephen Callahan out in front, good to see him kind of.
He's a little unlucky. Yeah, a little unlucky in the last round. I think he yeah, I think it was Greg Johnson that just lost the rear, I think, going into one of the turns, and just clipped. I think it might have been a rejoin. I think he got a penalty for it, and he just clipped Stephen, and that sort of damaged the car. I think he had to use a fast repair then, and just didn't really recover as a result, I don't think.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. And he had a really great start to that race as well, and a great midpoint to the race as well. It looked like he had a great strategy to carry it through as well, but just get caught up sometimes. So that's just racing is racing, hey.
Oh, look, he was battling hard at the start of that race. So I went through and had a look at the broadcast from last week earlier today, and yeah, Stephen was battling hard with Tyson at the front there, and then he was right in the middle of the mix there. I think it's one of those things, sometimes it doesn't take much just to, throw it out of whack. You can see Stephen here running around with a little bit of a bent wing, so he's maybe had a moment, just decided to push on.
Maybe it was just another cowie moment in these things that, like last season with you ran a really good race. I think you finished 5th, I think it was, and we got you in the race chat afterwards. Like, great race, I think you got driver of the day.
And you don't know the wing.
We were like, how about your wing? And you're like, what wing?
I didn't know it was damaged. Yeah, look, it can be like that sometimes, and I think, you get into a groove, and when the car's feeling fine and you're in the groove, you don't worry about stuff like that. I know last night in the V8 official race around here, I chewed up my tyres so early that I was just constantly trying to find set up, adjusting roll bars and biases and that all the way through the race, and it just seemed to keep getting worse. So, those sort of things, can be a state of mind sometimes. I was under a bit of pressure, getting hounded by guys behind me. Oh no, that's going to damage it a bit more, so that might make it a little bit hard. I think Stephen just trying to see if he could keep going on. Well, it's warm tyres. He realised if he's got to start again, tyres going to be cold. How do you get him up to temperature on a lap? You can't.
Yeah. So you've raced these things a bit. Is there a secret to these things to get them down, or is there like a little bit of a
throttle control, man? It's all about throttle control.
Yeah.
It's really about throttle control. Like, you still want to brake in a straight line. All the principles that apply to racing in general apply to these cars. Yeah. You've got a blip on the downshift unless you're cheating with auto blip.
I realised that.
Right.
That's one thing I've been trying to learn is the blip on the downshift, because I don't want to do the whole auto blip thing, which kind of said that it takes my practice a lot longer, but I'm getting better.
Well, you'd be better for it in the long run, especially if you manage to progress to some of the other leagues or series where they don't let you use any of those clutch assists.
And is there like, when you're doing a left foot brake, so on the downshift essentially on the downshift I'm auto bluing with my right foot, I'm going with my right foot.
You can heel and toe in these cars as well.
The other one,
you can
or do you do the whole heel and toe thing? That seems a lot too much.
I'm a left foot breaker myself, buddy, because
Yeah.
I'm left-footed or left-handed myself. And actually, when I got my pedals, the clutch wasn't working, so I had to drive for about 2 months with just left foot braking anyway. And I used to heel and toe before that. I still do heel and toe when I drive other cars and other if I drive the Audi R8 or things like that that are H pattern generally.
Dean
But if it's
Sorry.
P3, I see that. No.
Yeah.
That's an
Sorry to cut
awesome
in
look
there.
there
Yeah.
from
Wow.
no, that's worthy. Dean Sinkovich with a 124.38, so only 2/10 of Tyson, who's less than a tenth of Stephen. So Stephen and Tyson
with a
have been
bent wing as
able
well.
to. Well, Stephen and Tyson have been able to improve their time, but Dean has. Again, buddy, I think as it comes down to it, it's not a big aero package on these cars, and
It's
I
not
think it's more
massive,
about the
but at the
tyres.
same time, I
It's
think
more
it
about
might come down to
tyres.
the tires, and it might come down to the track as well. Actually, I think those tracks that don't need so much downforce, you're not going to be so hindered by a bit of crushed wing. But
this
on
is a
those ones
concrete
that
jungle
need
where
it,
you need downforce, buddy. But I think that as far as these cars go, it's all about the tyre temperature, getting them into that window. When they're in that window, it just sticks. And that's where you can send it a little bit. You can throw it in harder into a corner, these sort of things. I mean, the problem that you have driving these is you start to get really confident and throw it in just that little bit too hard. And that's the hardest one to work out where you've done something wrong.
yeah,
because
100%.
it handled it beautifully last lap, but why isn't it handling it this lap?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
All right, so
And then you can
looks we got Pete, so we are going to bring in our race controller tonight, Peter, to do his briefing. So let's drag him in.
Hey, g'day boys, thanks, and I'll just start the race brief now. Hey, g'day drivers, how are you tonight? And welcome to Detroit Belle Isle for round 9 of the Radical SRW Super Series. Listen, I'll warn you that Detroit Belle Isle is the home of the Promo safety car. We have done more laps here in the league than anywhere else on any other track, so take it care tonight. Tonight's race is a 40 lapper. There's 7 or 8 cars in there. Have a good time. There's nothing compulsory. You don't need to change tyres, but I understand you run out of fuel, and given the current fuel prices, you might want to minimise how much you put in. As always with the safety car, if you do need a tow, give me a call. We'll bring it out, condense the field, and keep the race entertaining for everybody and yourselves. Otherwise, race on, race hard, stay within the concrete lines, and I'll chat to you all at the end. Have a good race, boys. Cheers.
That's off, Pete.
Thanks very much for that,
love
Pete.
the fuel prices jib there. I love that.
I was going to say
that was awesome. That was awesome. Fuel prices. You might not want to put too much in. good crack.
Before you go, Pete, do you know if there's more than one fast repair for the guys tonight?
As far as I understand, it's the same, mate. It's one fast repair, no compulsory pit stop. So they don't have to, there's nothing compulsory, right? There's no 2 tyres or anything. They just fill up to get to the end, and hopefully they'll race clean. I noticed that.
I think we're going to see you out on track tonight here, buddy, because it is Belle Isle, and you did highlight it as the home of the Promo Dept safety car. So have some fun, buddy, and enjoy the race. All right, we have the drivers on the grid. Stephen Callahan, P1. Tyson McAvoy in P2. Looks like we're still waiting on Tyson just to grid up. Is that Dean Sinkovich P3? Oh, no, we're on the back of Stephen. That's why. From my camera, I can see we're looking from the behind shot for everyone else. Dean Sinkovich, yeah. Nathan Verney with Locked On Lads. P4, Callan Hodgkinson P5, Leon Williams P6, Stephen Sinkovich P7, and our resident alien, Scott Callahan in P8. Ready to carve up through the field. Should be an awesome night. We are getting ready for round 9 of the V8 Radical SRW American Invasion Series. Just waiting on the lights now, and should be an awesome night of racing, Todd.
It should be. It's going to be bumpy as. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. We know there's going to be lots of safety cars. Hopefully not too many, but I'll hand it back to you, bro, for 5 lights.
All right, the lights about to go out, and here they go. Looks like the field have got away pretty good then. I don't know why STK is telling us Tyson McAvoy's crashed, because it looks like he's got through pretty clean there.
Oh, someone sat on the grid there. It seems like someone's caught on the grid there. Well, Scott Callahan is giving the grid a bit of a space.
No, yeah, he's giving everyone a bit of a start. Oh, no!
Oh, no,
That's...
Dino, first lap on cold tyres.
Oh, it looks like he may not have been able to get that car stopped there.
Oh, he's still going again. Oh, no. Oh, making the frustration worse. There's nothing worse than that, starting a race like that, is there?
And Tyson McAvoy right on the back of Stephen Callahan here, going down the back straight. He's going on the inside move. Is he looking to get a move done on lap 1? He's done that brilliantly.
On cold tyres. What a beautiful move. Oh, no, and he's taking it too deep on the
into the wall. Nathan
he's
Burney as well.
Nathan Verney spun around as well.
I don't want... both of them trying to quick flip here. This is crazy.
Oh, but Leon Williams, his teammate, just made his way through there. So 198 cars made his way through to third place. We've already got a safety car.
Something's just happened to Liam as well, has it?
Seems like we've got a safety car out for already, boys.
Wow. Wow.
Boy, Peter Baxter's already out in the safety car. He's already getting legs out into that McLaren, it looks like.
Oh, Shibi's going to go back and try and see if he can make some sense of the madness that we just saw. So Tyson's got the deep move done there, and then he's just lost the rear. And Nathan Verney's tried to carry too much speed, and he's gone in and hit the wall. And then
I think he's reacted to it all.
Is that who's that's pulverized him then? That
Callan
might have been Callan Hodgkinson that tried to launch Nathan, and then the boys flicking the car, and
There's a lot of Tony Hawk going on in the last couple of weeks, isn't there been? Kick flips and pop shove it.
Looking at that, Tyson might actually come out of that fairly unscathed. Poor old Nathan Verney, that car's looking a bit wounded. So Nathan's gone into the pits. Dean Sinkovich has gone into the pits. Scotty Callahan went into the pits as well. Did Scott Callahan get caught up in the middle of that? Or maybe just decided to pit to go to the back again, top back up the fuel?
Yeah.
I think he might be just wanting to battle through. He wants to make passes out on the track, I would say.
Yeah. Back out on track now. Yeah, it looks like he's fueled up and ready to go. Still looking pretty shiny.
Yes, and it is gained thanks once again to our sponsors, our major sponsor, DSL Welding Services. Always great to have them on board. The safety car out on track comes to us by the promo department, and they tend to get some action. And Pete did call it, mate. This is the track he's done the most laps on in the safety car.
You never know. You probably go faster around here than they can. And those things, you never know.
Oh.
He does actually. Pete looks like he's actually pushing it a bit faster.
Tuesday night demolition. Sorry, the Tuesday night demolition derby from Mr. Bluesman. I think it's just Belle Isle that decides to be a demolition derby, buddy. Because I think with the F3s here, we had 6 safety cars, I think.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, we had five. It was. Yeah.
Oh, but again, as you alluded to earlier, Todd, it's about those bumps and the change of tarmacs. We're talking lap 1, no heat in those tyres. Oh, Nathan Verney hasn't pitted. That's interesting.
Yeah, massive damage.
That is interesting that he didn't actually take advantage of the pit there.
Interesting. Does he just feel like he's still got it? Maybe it's just no, but we know in his radicals, if that front split is even a little bit bent, that's when you know you've got a lot of trouble in these cars. Maybe you're just leaving it to this. He knows that there's 2 laps of the safety car, but he's leaving it to the last lap, and then who knows?
It is interesting.
Lap, yeah.
Well, Dean Sinkovic is out. Is he? No, he's still in the pits at the moment. So
interesting. Callan Hodgkinson is definitely.
Oh, what's happened there to Dean?
Kellen Hodgkinson definitely went into a
Are
car earlier.
we?
He had nowhere to go. So how has he gotten to the top and he still doesn't have that much damage on his car?
I don't know if I agree there, John or Bluesman. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily the driving standard. I think that, you know, again, we've just seen time after time that these cars are a handful on cold rubber, and then you put them at a place like Belle Isle where there is nowhere to hide.
It's like you're driving
Absolutely
through an
nowhere to
earthquake
hide.
in these cars.
Well, not just that, it's a concrete jungle, you know,
Yeah.
where, you know, at VIR you make a mistake, you've got a nice big grass expanse to go across, you know.
Yeah.
Even at Watkins Glen, you know, there are places where you can run wide and get away with it. Here at
This
Belle
is like Long
Isle,
Beach, but just really bumpy.
well, Long Beach is bumpy as well, buddy, so I think
Yeah.
they're,
But
they're
even
two
bumpier.
peas in a, oh, they're two peas in a pod, those tracks. But yeah, it's tight turns, concrete walls, and
No
yeah,
runners.
cold rubber. Just
No
all
forgiveness,
piling together.
really. Going back to green. Let's go, let's go, let's go! What are we going to say? Cullen Hodgkinson trying to build up a bit of a gap. I thought Cullen Hodgkinson would have had a bit of damage here, Cowie, but what do you reckon? It doesn't look like he does.
Oh, I can't see the front of that car just yet to see if he's got any splitter damage. But yeah, he did almost launch Nathan Burney, but it might have just been in a way that it was the tyre that ran up.
Yeah.
You see that? Was that
Oh, these guys going very, very wide. Stephen Callahan
Stephen
and Leon
Callahan
Williams.
making a move on Nathan Burney there?
And Leon Williams looking very,
Also,
very good today.
Looks like Tyson McAvoy's also made a move on Steven Sinkovic as well. So he's he's back up onto the back of this battle here now.
And he knows he wants to be. Tyson wants to definitely be on the
Callahan
back
already
of
up into
Callahan.
P5 as well. So Scotty Callahan made a move on Steven, and Steven getting up the inside of Nathan Burney there. That was a great move as well.
Oh, come on, son. And that's the thing. Look at Tyson on the back of Scotty. Tyson just wants to make sure he's sticking on the back of Scotty.
Yeah,
well, it looks like he's going for it.
On the inside.
Beautiful move on Scotty Callahan there. Just laying it down, just laying down the gauntlet now. I think Tyson's staying right here.
Look at that's Nathan Burney on his roof, is it?
No, Leon Williams. Leon Williams is having a great race.
On his roof.
He was sitting in third place. What's happened there?
Big has happened there, and I'd say that may well be our second safety car intervention if he's still on his roof. Here we go.
Wow, I didn't think we'd see a car. I didn't think we'd see a car on its roof, Cowie. That's wild.
All right, so we're just going through the trees in the road too much here. So what's happened? Okay, so he's gone into the wall, and yeah, then is that Nathan Burney? No,
his teammate gone straight into the back of him.
Yeah, they just had nowhere to go. Yeah, it looked like it was both cars.
Nathan Burney, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Nathan's coming to the pits now as well. So that car was already looking a little bit injured, so maybe now he finally decides to get it fixed. The safety car has crashed. Is that true?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Just got to interject. Yeah, it's just a pit lane thing.
That's funny. So, but all right. Has he got a fast repair
he
on that?
launched, and these things are literally like just a launch platform, aren't they?
Is there an issue and there's no fast repair tonight? Because I thought he pitted, unless he damaged the car on the pit lane exit before. Because I thought Nathan had pitted, and look, you look at that there. There's no fast repair happening on that car. We may well have a meatball flag and Nathan in a bit of trouble.
Well, hey.
Oh no, there it is.
There we go.
It just got fixed. So maybe
just waiting for his toe, I suppose. Just waiting for his toe.
Maybe it was the toe.
Okay, he's coming out in a brand new car now, Leon Williams. So it'll be nice to see whether he can make some places back here. But Nathan Burney, both are locked on lads now. Very interesting. They're both are locked on.
But Nathan's still in the pits, so maybe it's Leon that's got the fast repair and Nathan has already used it. Turned it off by mistake, maybe?
Oh, well, Nathan, I think, actually did use it earlier because he was caught up in the earlier incidents. So Leon was actually
Oh, what's happening there, Shibby? We've gone black screen and stuck on a replay there in the broadcast, have we? All right, we're back running, and yet the promo department safety car is out there. Yeah, look, I don't think there's even any point of us putting a bet on tonight to see how it goes. Carlin Hodgkinson, we got to look at the front of that car there, buddy. Does have some front splitter damage.
yeah, it does actually, yeah.
Mm.
But he's still got some pace in it. Maybe he's just
Well, I'm
used to driving
thinking that
these things a bit
maybe.
banged up.
Well, remember we thought that these guys might take advantage of that to use their fast repair. The fact that you've only got one and it's a 40-lap race, maybe
Yeah,
that's more what
true.
they're thinking. I'm going to need it at some point, to survive.
Yeah, 100%. Even if you were Callan Hodgkinson, would you not be thinking out there like, I might try and hold some pace
Well,
at
at
the
the
front as
moment,
much as I
at the
can. But
moment,
if Scotty Callahan wants to, if Stephen Callahan wants to come up beside me and take over me, then I'd be sitting behind him and trying to save some gas and save a couple of laps and a bit of tyres before I get to the pits. And once I pit and then I've refreshed, then take the battle back to them.
well, I don't know if he's going to be seeing any damage from the inside of his car. Do you want to have a look at what Callan's seeing, or jump on board, looking forward, and see if you can actually see if he's got any damage? Yeah, so to him, that probably doesn't look like it's hurt. Do you know what I mean?
No. Yeah,
Unless
true.
he's got a spotter, he's not really going to think that he's got a damaged front splitter.
The braking zone, though, wouldn't he?
Oh, he knows that he launched, was it Nathan at the time?
Yeah.
Almost sent him into the stratosphere. No, not quite, but.
But he probably feels that a lot of people behind him have got a lot of little bit of damage each anyway. So he's like, I could probably get away with a little bit of damage because these guys probably have a little bit of damage behind me anyway.
Well, I think we've done as many laps under safety car and about to do more laps under safety car than we've done green so far. But the guys are coming back. See, Nathan Verney is still in the pits. So somewhere Nathan used up his fast repair. And because he did pit early on.
Yeah, because
so maybe,
he was
and
caught
then
up
he's
in
had
that
that big
incident,
damage there. And now he's got a meatball flag and is sitting in the pits waiting for the repairs to let him get back out there. Which is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
I think Leon Williams has fallen. Has Leon Williams fallen a lap down? Yeah, he has, as a result, I think.
Yeah, well, Nathan Verney has fallen a lap down, but Leon Williams just about there. He's about 10 seconds outside of a lap down, so unfortunate for those locked on lads. But for the rest of the field, everybody else might have a bit more of an opportunity now.
Well, as we said, that is the problem there. There's a couple of blind corners where, you're trusting the car in front hasn't done anything wrong or made a mistake because you turn into the corner, and if there's a car there, well, you got no chance of slowing it up.
No, definitely not in these things, because these things just, with the lack of ABS and traction control, etc., or any driving aids, these things will just lock up, and you have to be very controlled and not early on your braking, but you have to really know your tracks to be able to drive these well. I think that's a real key to them. You have to really be practiced at a track to be able to drive these fast and well around the.
All right, so it looks like the safety car has pulled away, buddy. So we're about to go green again. We'll just see Callan's just blocking them all up a little bit. Not allowing any of them to get a run, so it looks like he's going to run it fairly close to the line. Looks like he's now pulled the trigger.
Oh, Stephen Callahan didn't have a very good start. Tyson McAvoy with a great start.
Right on top. Tyson's looking to go around the outside. You've got to be careful about the wall there, but he's done it well. It looks like he's got drive down the first straight, and he will have the inside line to brake. Oh, he switched back in. Stephen, have a look up the inside. No, he's thought better of it. Is that Scott Callahan that just made a move on Stephen Sinkovich there?
Yeah,
so that brings Scott up into P4.
Whoa, mate, he's on the charts already, and he started to give everyone a bit of a head start, and he pitted early also, so we'll see if he has to pit an extra time because he did pit earlier.
No. And that's a hit on the left and the right-hand side of that car, so again, he's probably thankful he didn't use his fast repair, but he's managed to keep it going, and there's no safety car. So at this point, but yeah, that car doesn't look like it's steering very straight at all.
Definitely not race
Um,
ending, but he's pretty close to the pits, so
Well,
thankfully he should be able to get there.
I doubt it. He's done enough laps to have enough room to be able to fill the tank to get to the end. Also, because like 5 of those laps have been under safety car, as John is said out there. I'm not sure about the current points out there, John. We are into round 9, so we're going to start to get some of the drop rounds start to come into play. So I don't know if that's holding things up or not. But yeah, I had a look up in the Discord, and unfortunately we didn't have the current standings as they are into round 8.
Because they're all coming in. We're in a penultimate round at the moment, and it's all going to come out in the wash once we come into drop rounds. So,
Yeah.
drop rounds, everyone's had 2 drop rounds for this series. So, it's going to be very interesting how it actually works out in the end, right, Cowie?
Well, that's right. I know that Matty Jones, he was away last week, and he did say he was going to be away this week as well. So I don't know how he's going to factor into the equation if he makes the last round. Scott Callahan has already missed a couple of rounds. So, but, so far he has, done a supreme drive in pretty much all of the rounds. There was only bar one there that he had a bit of trouble. I think that was Daytona. Or was that Dean's showing a bit more damage on that car, but I don't think he's got a fast repair left. So...
Bit of flared wheel arches there. Trying to do a bit of racing customization.
Well, we've just seen that these cars can be a handful at a place where you've got nice open spaces. Put some concrete walls, some barriers, and
a whole lot of bumps
runoff
in a car that's very, very low to the ground.
Yeah, no worries, John. Yeah, well, we're trying to set up there. The points as of round 7 had Dave Unger out in front, Nathan Verney, 38 behind him, and Matty Jones a further 70 or 65 back from there. Scotty Callahan was about 170 points off the lead. Stephen Callahan was a further 30 or 40 points back from him. So that was sort of the top 5. But again, that last round, Scotty Callahan got some good points. We also had was it Nathan Burney with a P2 and Tyson McAvoy with a P3. So really the battle's sort of coming down to Dave Unger versus Nathan Burney. No Dave again tonight, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So that'll be his second drop round. He's been here every single week, so that'll be his second drop round.
That's right. So that will give Nathan Burney a chance to move up, but unfortunately he is still in the pits repairing a meatball or a black flag.
Yeah.
So,
but that said, he's still going to finish in 8th place. So even if he gets a meatball, he's got an 8th place, right? He did not finish, but...
Oh, Dave, yeah, that's you. We did forget that, buddy. So what, are you still working, buddy? You're still late, are you? Yeah.
Dave Unger's still away.
He's Bluesman on the YouTube chat. I did forget that because we weren't chatting to him last week. But yeah, so... It's probably working all in Scotty Callahan's. Your wheel's still out of action, buddy. Yeah, that's right. You have big technical issues.
Oh, that's right.
Scotty Callahan's probably the one that's going to benefit from it, buddy, because he's out there. Nathan, your current sort of rival in the standings, he's in the pit lane. You're not here, and you've got this alien out on track that's trying to take points away from you guys.
Oh, Scotty Callahan. Can Scotty Callahan take it in the end?
Well, he's pushing hard on Stephen at the moment, so we do know these guys are no relation. We finally got to ask them.
Yeah. Like,
so just a coincidence that we've got 2 S Callahans spelt exactly the same way.
Yeah. Just one Stephen and one Scotty.
But now we can see that this is a 3... Well, it's a 3-way battle at the moment, sort of bunching up. So Tyson has not been able to drive away from Stephen at the moment. That draft probably doing enough just to keep him in touch. And you can see here, looking closing in under the draft.
Tyson is
Dean,
pushing hard. He's absolutely pushing hard. He's trying to break this draft, but he just can't. It's such a bumpy track. But see how much how much speed he's carrying through the corners. He's actually just trying to carry a whole lot more than everybody else. But it seems like he is, but it's just so hard to break that draft, right?
Well, it's all about not making mistakes, and you know, again, we've seen that the draft is effective, so maybe that means you get another chance to pass. We can see here, Scott Callahan just have a look up the inside of Stephen there, but Stephen cut him off, made sure he didn't get a run on him there.
Stephen just putting his elbows out as much as he can right here. Trying to stave off Scotty as long as he can.
The problem,
Callahan,
though,
the alien just breathing down your neck would not be a nice thing to have right now.
the problem is that if you go too defensive, you start compromising your lines, and then you know then what happens is, you know, you're now not carrying the same exit speed, and you know, you leave yourself vulnerable. And that's what happened to me last night. I was constantly defending, and I just, you know, the guys in front broke away, and then I'm giving a toe to everyone behind me. So
Yeah. You can always fall in that trap, hey, because if you look too much in your rear vision mirror versus forward, then, you know, but if you
didn't have a
look too
choice,
forward
mate.
all the time, then you can't defend. So, you know, it's one of those double-edged swords, isn't it?
I didn't really have a choice. I had to defend or I'd give up the position. So, you know, but again, yeah, it still just means that you end up sort of driving lap after lap on defensive lines, and chew up your tyres, and it makes it really hard for you to, you know, catch the guys in front of you.
Yeah, most definitely. I 100% agree. And
He's Scotty Callahan
just actually losing quite like a tenth on an exit.
Like, patient though. I mean, this is P2 and P1 in front of him, so it's not like he's lost track with the leaders. He can afford to take his time here, maybe put a bit of pressure down, force Stephen into a little mistake. Though it looks like fine.
Definitely driving his own line.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, it looks like the tyres on these are finally up to temperature, because we haven't seen the safety car breed another safety car breeds another safety car. Mid-Ohio would have been a more user-friendly track, you say, Dave. Yeah, maybe.
And between our two last lap times, only got 1/100th of a second between the last two lap times for last lap. So that just for 1 and 2 for first and second. So lap before last is just gone over the next lap anyway. So Scotty Callahan just using a bit too much of that tarmac on the outside there. Bit of concrete, sorry, I should say.
It looks like Nathan Burney might actually be back out on the track now, which is great to see. He's a few laps down, so that's unfortunate, but he's out there. Is he? Yeah, there he is.
He's still not looking the most ship shape, but he's still going on.
There's no fast repair, but he's managed to get rid of the meatballs so he can drive again. Back on track with his teammate now. So
try to just work together and just be like training for those guys now, being 5 laps and 3 laps down. These guys just driving together, have a bit of battle, bit of a battle with each other.
It's hard, but you know, it is what it is. But it's great to see that these guys haven't just pulled the towel tonight. They've jumped out and kept racing. I think Leon's only down 1 lap. Leon's down 1 lap. Nathan is down 6. So Callan Hodgkinson has got a brand new machine there. He's in P6, so he has been able to recover, but he is about a minute off the lead at the moment, so he would be counting on another safety car just to bunch things back up.
Yep, so he goes after his quick repair. Just noticing now, actually, Leon Williams is still on lead lap. He's a minute down, but he's still on lead lap, so he's just helping out his teammate there, Nathan Verney, in the background. He's just coming out on track and just coming out at the same time. So,
has Dean had another moment, Shibby, or do you think is that an old one up there?
Oh, Dean's just had a bit of a moment. Wow.
There we go. So bumped the wall.
Thank you very much to DSL
Welding.
No,
he's kept out of the wall there, so that's nice, but it has cost him a little bit of time there. So he's now 30 seconds off the lead.
And that car's definitely looking pretty worse for
That was
wear.
Stephen, yeah. So it does look like a fair bit of damage on that machine, but I don't think he's got a fast repair left. There's quite a few guys out there that'll be in similar boats. We're going to have another look at this.
Oh, no, it's another
This is
one.
Dean. So what has Dean done here? Because that car
Dean
looks
might
almost
just
as bent as his
damage
brother's.
suspension, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, that's going to hurt.
it's worse.
I don't think that's going to straighten that wing.
Yeah,
Not
no,
the way
that's
to
not going to
straighten it.
buff out, I don't think, hey, Cowie, somehow. Oh, wow.
Oh, so both the SRW machines are looking a little bit battered. Though here, Scott Callahan, 3.2 seconds off the lead. And his car looks nice and clean.
Not look like a... The Sigovich boys are kind of looking like half transformed Transformers at the moment. Like they just got stopped halfway through.
Little puff of dust there as he ran a bit wide there on that side of the track, but was able to keep the car under control. Didn't really look like it upset it at all then.
Or maybe he's actually that was his tactic, just use as much as he can. But
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta be very wary
out,
in his cars as well.
open out those corners to try and sort of maximise the speed you can carry through. Stephen Callahan is now closed right up on the back of Tyson McAvoy, so
Tyson just pushing hard, trying to break that stream still.
Yeah, hasn't been able to break the toe.
Bit, but you know, he just hasn't quite been able to make it yet.
Well, I think Tyson seems to be pretty strong through the second half of the lap, and he's able to pull out a little bit of time. It's just those two straights that are giving Stephen a chance to sort of catch back up on him. Sort of, even here, we can see that, you know, he's already gained a 10th on this straight here. This is a second 10th. So, you know, that toe there was worth a couple of tenths in that part. And then you get to here, and it's probably worth the same again.
Yeah,
another couple of tenths here.
It's crazy. Look how much he's gaining on him. Straight down
you've
the
got that mid, and then you've got that mid straight, the next straight, which will have the same again.
Right. Not an easy track to try and stay ahead of people, and especially with look at this on the nose cam. This is a great little shot from the gyro cam, sorry. And seeing how bumpy this track really is just crazy, man. It's so much bumpier than Long Beach, man. I think it's twice as bumpy as Long Beach. I love Long Beach. Well, I could barely drive this track, so, you know.
You see the head wobbling there with a bit of porpoising.
Yeah, yep.
It's a term that is, I think, forever going to be in the motorsport vernaculum now.
Yes, most definitely.
I don't think we ever thought of using the word porpoise, when it had something to do with motor racing, but obviously we humans find a way to invent all spectacular terminology for things. Oh no, what are you showing us here, Chevy?
Gentle, would be called dolphining, maybe?
This is Nathan Verney. What's happened here? He's just rotated the rear a little, has he? No. Oh, a bit of grass. So that's that same speck of grass that's
wow, that was a hard hit.
used. Oh, look at the rear of that car. It did not like that. Uh-oh. That looks like I might have a lean on it.
Wow, that was a dead stop into that tyre barrier, wasn't it?
Steering looks fairly straight. I mean, it was the rear of the car that got the hit, not the front, but...
It's kind of rear and side, though. I thought it would have destroyed a lot more than it looks like it has.
It's definitely got a bend. Look at him. He's driving straight with left hand down there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
There's damage.
Definitely bent.
But the real problem is when you start to get some damage around this place.
Oh, it's totally. It's so. It's like 90 degrees. That's crazy. Look at him trying to fight it. Oh, wow. That is brutal.
Yeah, it looks like left-handers. He's really struggling with left-handers.
Almost full lock right, and his hands are straight.
Oh, yeah. Well, no more fast repairs. He just fixed that car. Spent 5 laps in the pits fixing it, and now she's hurting again.
And it just goes to show you guys, you know, how bumpy this track is, and how hard this track really is, especially in these cars. I've done quite a few laps around this track in different cars, not so much the Radicals, and I jumped into these Radicals and found it so hard. And I thought I had it nailed. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go out there and do an awesome lap. and then I'll be able to brag tonight on comms that I did a really good lap. And then I saw these guys' laps, and I was like, yeah, I'm like 3, 4, 5 seconds off that. Yeah, nah, I'm not going to mention it. You know, like, it just goes to show you, even these guys are just pushing hard. They're trying to compete as hard as they can towards with each other, and all those bumps and breaking points and all those that really come into a lot of factor, and all these brick walls, right, Cowie?
Well, John's saying that he reckons they need active suspension.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's one of those things that they banned. Was it Renault come out with the active suspension where they controlled the ride height in F1, and they banned it because it was too good?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all that sort of discussion, I think, in F1.
They banned undercarriage downforce and all the rest of it back in the late 70s, etc., or early 80s, and then they brought it back in the 90s, and then they banned it because it was too revolutionary. It was going to do everything, essentially.
It was Williams, John. Yeah, you're right too. It was. But yeah, look, and as far as paints and skins in iRacing, there's a fair few guys out there. One of my team's sponsors is Knight Rider Designs. I'm sure that some of the other teams out there have got some great graphics painters. So maybe have a look at the teams and their sponsors, and you know, should be able to. The other thing is too, man, you ask on the forums, iRacing Down Under, those various places where we all get together and talk crap about sim racing, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of guys out there to give you some tips and point you in the right direction. And of course, you know, there's various levels that you can end up paying for as well. You know, I can do basic paints myself, but not spec map stuff. That's where you get the you know, the imprint inside the shadows. When the light hits it, you can see that you know, extra detail in the paint. But yeah, there's plenty of guys out there, buddy. So Nathan's entered the pit lane again, so he's had another crash, and looks like it might be meatball time again for Nathan Verney, who has not enjoyed his visit to Belle Isle tonight.
No, we just had a couple of comments here from Facebook as well. Daniel Fritz said, what's a record for safety cars? Because Porsche Cup here, Thursday, could break the record. I might have to agree with you. Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that, Kelly.
We have been getting some decent sized fields in the Porsche Cup, so yeah. Moment you try to put 20 or 30 cars around here, it's, you know, could be a whole different story, and they're a bit wider and take up a bit more room on track.
And they're very tail happy, you know what I mean? Especially around here, how bumpy it is, and bumpy in the braking points. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's going to be insane. Thanks, Daniel. We've got Robert Brown also. He said, stopping by for a min, showing some love. Much love, Robert Brown. Much love, Robbie. Much love, bro. Thank you very much for coming back and saying hello once again. So I'll hand back to you, Cowie. Just wanted to shout out the legends on.
Yeah, no, awesome stuff, mate. We love having you guys talk to us. It gives us something to talk about as well, if we can help you answer questions. Yeah, look, I'm sure there's guys out there that'll be able to help you with those paints, John. Just put a shout out on some of the Facebook groups and that, and or, you know, have a chat to the boys here in our Discord channel, and you know, then I'm sure the boys will be able to put you out in the right direction. We can just see
you
here
always get the old Chef Toddy to design you something cool.
There you go. We are now past halfway of this race, and it's Tyson McAvoy 1.5 seconds out in front, so it looks like he might have just been able to break a little bit clear of Stephen now. Scotty Callahan is closing right up on Stephen, so I think maybe it's been more Stephen has had to maybe do a defensive line or two there, and that's just given Tyson a chance to skip away.
And it looks like Scotty's actually had to step this up a couple of levels here. I think he thought it might have been an easy travel to the front, but he's actually been sideswiped here a little bit. I think he's a little bit of... he's pushing hard now. You can see he's pushing a lot harder than he has been before. And Tyson's been pushing and carrying that speed through those corners in first place so well, and really smooth through these corners. So it's going to be hard for Scotty to catch him from this point, I reckon.
I'm looking at the rear wing there of Stephen, and he's got a little bit of a ding on that wing on the left-hand side there, so maybe he's made contact with the wall as well. So maybe that's because now at the moment he's sort of falling back into Scott's clutches. And as I've said before, once you lose the toe, it can be really hard to sort of catch back up when you've got someone else breathing down your neck. All right, so Scotty Callahan riding on board with our resident alien. There is a bit of damage on that car too, so what's happened to Scotty?
Oh, wow. What's happened
clipped the
there?
rear. Is that Stephen has gone into the pits, so maybe Stephen has a fast repair available to him. Maybe it's time to get fuel and use that fast repair to fix up.
Oh, we haven't
Keep
seen
an eye on that.
incidents from either of them. They haven't gone off track or anything. It doesn't seem like they've...
Well, we've had a few of the guys pit now for fuel.
damage.
Well, Stephen pitting here on lap 22. We had Stephen Sinkovich pit lap 21, Dean Sinkovich 15, and Nathan Verney 13. But Nathan's well down the pack. It's possible that Dean used up enough fuel to be able to fill it enough to the end. Is this Callan Hodgkinson? Has something happened to Callan again? That wing's got a nice bend on it again after fixing that car. And, oh, here it is. So we're going to go back. So he's had a couple of moments, does he? There we go. Oh, no. Oh, he's just tagged the rear of the car. Oh, it didn't like that.
So minor as well. It was so tiny.
It was just
that's so... Oh, that sucks when it's that tiny.
It was
like,
just
it was
that
just
snap
a little...
oversteer, and he's come into the pits now as well. So maybe deciding to take advantage of his fuel stop and use a fast repair. No, he won't have a fast repair. He's already used his to fix his car. So this will be his scheduled fuel stop.
Yes, yeah. Man,
Might be able to do a little bit of repair under the time. Who knows? Enough to fix the car a little bit.
I reckon he should have enough time to fix it a little bit, depending on how bad that was. It seemed like he had a bit of damage in the first place, though, didn't it?
Stephen Callahan here now. It has put Callan a lap down by the looks of it too. So really started. Stephen Sinkovich has gone through on Callan Hodgkinson. So that brings Stephen up into P4. Having a great race now.
And Dean Sinkovich. Is Dean Sinkovich still sitting in the pits there?
Alright, so we still have Tyson McAvoy and Scott Callahan that haven't done their pit stops for fuel. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see when they come in. It is currently 34 seconds from Scotty back to Stephen Callahan, I should say. We're riding on board with Stephen Sinkovich now. But so far, it looks like we've got fourth down or all already a lap down on the leaders. They'll probably get that back. Here, we're going to have a look to see. Is this... That was Tyson. Something happened to Tyson. He's had a crash. And that was Scott Callahan going through.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's just lost the rear.
Oh, no.
He's kept it out of the wall. He's kept it out of the wall. Oh, he was having a great race there too. He still managed to keep that car intact. There's not many cars out there that don't show signs of damage. I think Tyson's might be the only one now. He's had a couple of moments, but so far he's avoided the wall. Like we're looking aboard Scott Callahan now, and he's got a pretty dinged up rear of that car. Did we see what happened to Scotty?
The exit as well.
Yeah, Shibby's saying it might be a minor bump. He can't seem to find anything where we could see what happened to Scotty. But we've seen before the problem is that can just unsettle the car a little bit, and suddenly where you think it's going to stick, it doesn't anymore, and breeds another mistake. We'll have to see if that's affecting his car at all. Tyson is still within a second of him now, and looks like he might be actually starting to close in. But
yeah, it looks like he's still in the attack. He's definitely still in the toes, so... whether Scotty can actually try and break that toe or not is going to be a different thing, because Scotty seems like he's pushing it to the absolute limit, Scotty, at the moment. He's trying to push it to every limit of those walls. The same as Tyson as well, but Tyson's coming out with a lot better looking car so far. So it'll be interesting to see whether Scotty can actually break this two or
I
whether
think Tyson still might have his fast repair up his sleeve too. So
he probably does, doesn't he?
because he managed to, even though he did have that contact earlier, I don't think it's done any sort of anything but superficial to the car, and he still hasn't done his fuel pit. So it'll be interesting.
Good strat, good team boss, eh? He's got it nailed down by the look of this.
Yeah, I'm, whether or not he was my team boss or not, you could, I don't think we could say that he doesn't have the cleanest car out there at the moment. I think everything else has shown a battle scar or two.
Yep, most definitely. Most definitely. Look at that beautiful cowandmusic.com on the side of it as well. Just a shameless shout out for you, Cowie.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I was a bit busy on the weekend. I had 3 gigs on the weekend, and the first
awesome.
one on Friday night was an outdoor beer garden at, I think it was about 7 degrees Celsius outside, and pretty cold, and they're the ones you worry about damaging your voice on the first night. But no, came through it pretty well, which is good. But
nice.
yeah, we can see Tyson here has managed to stay sort of in distance. He's kept that gap to a second or just under. So I know that.
Well, Scotty Callahan's trying to get rid of him, but he just can't, eh? It's awesome to see.
Tyson's a competitive guy, and he can sniff a W here. He can sniff that the victory's on the cards. He can see that Scotty's car's a bit banged up, so that would only be firing him up. And
he's definitely blood in the water, eh?
Well,
he's like, come on, where's the fishy boys? I want to be the shark. Come on.
Well, I think we're just going to have to, hope that he controls his aggression, because so far, has had a couple of moments. I think everyone's had moments out there by the looks of it tonight. But so far, he's the one that's avoided the concrete and has got a nice clean car. Look at, Stephen Callahan here. He did get that car fixed, but he's got a little ding on the wing, probably only superficial. But
doesn't look running in P3 at the moment. Scotty Callahan's.
Well, he's running in P3 at the moment, 34 seconds back. So I think he's maybe gained a second or so on the leaders. Who will have to pit. Looking at the pit transit times, it's been probably around the high 30s to the mid 40s, depending on how long the guys have sort of gone for fuel. So at the moment, that may well put Stephen up at the front when Scotty and Tyson decide to pit. We'll have to keep an eye on that little battle.
Oh, yeah.
Just
be interesting to see, because that very, very short pit from Scotty Callahan at the start, under those sort of that first safety car, was it first or second safety car that he actually went into the pit? So
I think he might have done it on both, buddy. But that little top up, that'll give him a bit of an advantage in the pit stop.
Yeah. So, will he have to pit again? Probably not. Maybe.
Oh no, he will. There's no way. I don't think he could make it from lap 6. But then again, it's possible. Again, these things don't burn through enough fuel. I think that you can make any significant gains by clutching it and fuel saving. Probably.
But you do get a lot of fuel saving through my experience racing in these things. That you do get quite a bit of fuel saving from the toe. I don't know. That's what I've experienced. It's not huge, but it's quite a bit that you can probably. In a race, you can probably in a 30-minute race, you can probably save about two laps worth of fuel.
All right, well, it's possible. But again, I think with the race being limited to 50% tank for these cars, I doubt that you would be able to make it all the way around. And pitting on lap 6 and lap 3, like Scotty Callahan and Tyson McAvoy did, I believe that didn't get him deep enough. Dean Sinkovich was the one I thought that he may have been able to, but the problem that you've had of these guys is, probably 4 or 5 of these cars that used their fast repair fairly early in the race and then picked up some more damage. And we're now looking at is that Stephen Sinkovich is 1 lap down in P4, Leon Williams is 2 laps down, Callan Hodgkinson 6 laps down, Dean Sinkovich 7 laps down. So Dean used up his fast repair and then had that big moment.
So Callan Hodgkinson
Hodgkinson's still in the pits.
Yeah, he's out. But look
Yeah.
at it.
So it's look, it's unfortunate.
As we knew,
That's
it
what
was going to be
happens at a
pretty
concrete.
interesting here in this concrete jungle and very
Oh.
bumpy track.
Look, we knew there was going to be some carnage tonight. I think, as I said at the start of the broadcast, I wasn't going to even ask for the bet for safety cars tonight. I think it was a given,
Yeah.
based on Peter Baxter, our race controller's briefing at the start, saying that this is the track that the safety car has done the most laps on. So he called it right from the word go, and it has credit though. It has been quite a time now since we've had one. We've done. It was about 14 laps, I think, we're lap 30 now, so we've done probably close to 18 laps or so without a safety car.
Yep.
So
Which has
Ty is
been
definitely in that.
nice little run, but I think we've had a smaller crowd tonight as well, smaller group of racers tonight as well, because maybe some of these guys have raced this track in these cars and gone, yeah, maybe I'll use this one as my drop round because this is crazy. I spent about 40 minutes in it, and I thought my arms are gonna shake off. Like, it's crazy bumpy. It's just, it's the next level. And to see these guys doing like averaging 24s, 25s, and our best lap of the race is a 123.49, which is
Scotty
just
Callahan
insane.
finally in
Which
clear
just
air, and
smashed
now
that.
he's starting to stretch away. So that damage on his car, it doesn't seem to be phasing him at the moment.
It's even faster than that. It's a 123.488. What? That's
so now just starting to pull about 7 or 8 tenths out of Tyson McAvoy each lap.
Wow.
And a 23.2 that
smooth
lap.
he
So yeah,
is.
there you
To
go.
really stay on board. This is amazing. How
Well,
is
we
he
do
so
know that
smooth
he's-
with all these bumps?
Look, he's shown that he's quick in this car, mate. So he's got it down pat, and a good, confident driver. With speed and driving around here like he knows the place like the back of his hand.
Yeah, so smooth.
And there that, even though it looks like he's going fast, to me it looks like he's giving himself little margins as well. He's not trying to get too close to the walls, so perhaps there is a bit of a safety involved in his driving here as well.
Well, I think you have to be a bit safe around here because of the bumps also. And like, you can see how much is rocketing up and down. If you're going, you can see he's very gingerly on the gas, etc., etc. Like, he's kind of feathering the gas through the bumps by the look at that as well. He's just trying to work through it, which is awesome to see.
Well, there are
awesome
parts
to actually learn from as well.
There's parts of the track where the road actually falls away, and if you get in the wrong spot, that falling away is just going to mean the car rides into that wall, slides down into the concrete barriers. And this is a perfect example. As you come over that hill there, the car wants to suck you over into that wall.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a magnet on it.
Terrain change as well, as you were saying. Polished concrete, and then tarmac as well, asphalt. Like, just old asphalt. Just insane for him to be able to do that. And as we were just talking as well, he's just done a 123.251 as well. So he's beaten his fastest time as we were talking also. Wowee.
I think he's done 4 or 5 laps in the 23s now. Tyson McAvoy has upped his game with the 24.1. Has a best lap of 23.85. So the only other driver that's managed to get into the 123s tonight. But that gap is now 4.6 seconds. And Scotty is running away with it. Though, both of these guys yet to pit. It's going to be the battle for P3 at the moment. For P2, I should say, with Tyson McAvoy and Stephen Callahan. So it must be coming to end of that window.
But you never know. Hey, with Scotty's early pit stop, Tyson might be
Tyson
on the
pitted
money
lap
here.
3 as well, so he might have taken some fuel as well. That's enabled him to go a little bit longer, but there was quite a few.
Really, isn't there?
There was quite a few laps under the safety car, but
it's interesting, splitting hairs here.
We've still got 8 laps to go. I just don't know if these guys are going to be able to make it to the end. But again, you know, running the fuel low like this, you can come in and it's just going to be a splash. If they do need to stop. So, it's going to be interesting. So Stephen Callahan, he's doing a good job at the moment. He's managed to sort of keep that distance from blowing out. Has been sort of doing steady sort of 24s and 25s. Have a look at his times. He comes over the line with a 25 flat. So
I'll tell you what, it'll be good for Stephen Callahan's points tonight as well. Getting this 3rd place on the podium.
Well, yes, mate, but it's going to be close on track because if Tyson's still going to make a pit stop, which I'd be gobsmacked if he's got enough to get to the end, really.
Yeah. They don't sound like they're clutching at all. They don't sound like they're trying to save fuel. They're just going as hard as they can too, right? So that's probably one of them.
Well, I mean, pit lap 3. Did you only need a splash? I mean, these are the questions that we really, you know, not sure of the bird. John C just asking if Scotty's anywhere near the lap record, buddy. You want to have a look at that? Sorry, I missed what you said then, Shimmy.
He's
3rd place
in the
this
world,
time so far. Okay. So that's still pretty impressive.
Oh,
okay, Dave thinks he might have filled up under the safety car and made it to the end. Well, he did pit on lap 6, according to my data here. We had probably about, what did we have, about 8 laps under the safety car, of actual safety car running, at least sort of 6.
Yeah.
So that makes it 12 laps. So if he was clutching a lot then, yeah, it could be close, buddy. If that's the case, Tyson's on lap 3, pitted. And he's still pushing out there. I haven't seen him come in the pitch yet.
Well, so Shibby was just saying that the world record is at 123.222. Was that right? Shibs? Yeah, that's correct. So
6 laps for the safety car, John says. Thanks for that. And Leon Williams, something's happened to Leon.
Oh, no. But Scotty Callahan's only 3/10.
But the car looks all right, so...
off the world record for race time around here at the moment in these cars.
Just try and have a look at Leon's car and see if I can see any damage. It doesn't look like he's copped anything there, so if he has had a little moment, it's been away from the walls, which is good to see. We're running probably in his best results so far this season, P5. We did remind me to grab Leon in for the chat after the race. Here we go, we're going to have a look and see, because he just cooked it at the end of the straight here, and he's just run deep into the runoff area.
Point, hey, it's the bumps in the braking point. I'm telling you, it's the bumps in the braking point. It puts the car off so bad. And it's just, you know, that was the best thing he could have done, is just let it run out there. And it's good that it haven't been a run out there, so because otherwise that would have really hurt him.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know in the V8 supercar, you're actually braking before any of those markers, so it's sometimes a guess where you've got to brake. Because these things probably go a bit deeper. Look at this, Thompson, McAvoy, back up on the back of Scott Callahan. So Scott Callahan made a mistake, or perhaps he is sort of fuel saving to go to the end. But then Thompson hasn't pitted yet, so I know, there we go.
Oh, Scotty Callahan.
Has come into the pits.
Does that just mean that no, it just means that Tyson's only got one more lap because he only just he pitted one more lap later than
well, Tyson pitted on lap 3, so Scotty
pitted on lap 2.
No, lap 6 he pitted on. He pitted on lap 6, but maybe he didn't take. Well, we think he would have taken fuel in that, so
yeah.
Unless Race Lab just give. Sorry, yeah, Race Labs give me a fibby, because it was telling me Tyson hasn't pitted since lap 3. He's now in behind and lapping Steven Sigovich, and just gets out of the way there. Well, let's keep an eye on Tyson here and see if he does have to run into the pits. We are 4 laps from the end of the race, or lap 4.5, I should say, so we're on lap 36 at the moment.
He's been very, very smooth. He's been very, very smooth. I think he might feel like he's got this here, and he might just have this. He's got 4 laps to
Well,
go.
he's
Can
pushing
he?
hard. So if he pits this lap, he's going for that overcut. So let's have a look and see if he does dart into the pit lane.
Doesn't look like he's slowing down.
Oh, here it is here.
No, he's not slowing down.
Another lap.
Oh, I'd love to be. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and on his helmet visor right now, just to see what he's
It'll be an awesome job if he's managed to save fuel during those safety cars. That's made the difference.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like he's been clutching it whatsoever. He's been pushing this thing as hard as he can the whole way. But he's been very smooth and kept his mid-corner speed, which has been very impressive tonight, actually.
Yeah, and he did a 24/7 last lap, so it's not as if he's backing off or anything at the moment.
No. If anything, it'd be only
24 seconds back to Scott Callahan after that pit. So
interesting to see whether he pits now. It seems like he's slowing down a bit now. He's letting off the gas a little bit. It seems like he might be lining up to come.
He might be just trying to be smooth, but yeah. I don't know. It's an intriguing question.
It's gonna be interesting to see. I'd love to see his fuel numbers right now.
Well, yeah, we're not getting any action out on track, so the action's all in the maths, isn't it? And we're trying to work this out. Okay, no, he's going again. So
going again. He's got enough fuel. So no, sorry. He put it on lap 5. No, pit lap on lap 5. Sorry, yeah.
I've got it as lap 3, so Tyson pitted on.
Numbers telling us different things.
Oh, apparently Shibby, Shibby's going to have a look. Well, this is an intriguing question because Scotty Callahan, as far as I saw it, pitted on lap 6 versus Tyson's lap 3, and he had to come into to get some fuel at the end.
I got Tyson's lap 2 was his first pit lap, and he hasn't pitted since then.
Scotty Callahan just did a 1:23.2 as well, so 1:23.25 and a 1:23.28 on his last lap. So wow. All right, so we are down to 2.5 laps remaining of this motor race. This is round 9 of the SRW American Invasion, brought to you by DSL Welding Services. Again, always awesome to have those guys on board with us, and they do so much promotion and sponsorship of sim racing out there that they are, they're a company that are, our brothers and sisters are a part of that, It's great to see, companies getting involved. I sponsored my own team, buddy, to help out as well, and I know that SRW are always looking for sponsors so they can keep bringing this great league and broadcasts to the masses out there and for us all to enjoy. Now, Tyson McAvoy is still going around with 2 laps to go, so...
A big shout out and hit that notification bell, everybody. Big shout out, just adding on to Cowie's. Hit that notification bell, guys. Make sure you hit us up on all our social media, on our Facebook, on our YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming online. We are live 6 nights a week with different series, and it's also always epic action. Make sure you come back and see us every night.
All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. So Shibby just confirming that it was lap 3 that Tyson pitted. So if he's managed to save the fuel, that has been a monumental drive. That would have meant he was pretty much clutching the whole time during the safety car.
Crazy. And he kept up the pace there as well. But that goes to show you experience in these cars, etc., etc. It's
well, Tyson's pretty new to them, buddy. But he does like to work out his fuel numbers. So he is one of those guys that would have done some practice, worked out his fuel burn, and gone, okay, when can I pit and get home? And if he was able to work to lap 3, then that's a great effort.
That's insane.
All right, well, we are back on board, so this is the white
What
flag.
flag? Come on.
So,
Tyson McAvoy with a beautiful strat tonight. Come on, your team boss, mate. With the cow
he's having a
music
belter.
comedy outside. Come on, boy. Taking it home.
Well, I am just gobsmacked that he's been able to
me
drive
too.
this home, so and have enough fuel in the car. You know, there may not be enough for a burnout, but
Surely he doesn't have. Must have a separate fuel tank or something. Are you serious? That's crazy good. Well
he's just
done,
been-
Tyson. That was brilliant.
He's apparently starting to stutter a little bit, so he's just trying to coast it home, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's stuttering. Is he gonna have enough fuel to get home? Oh, no, it's flashing hard. Look at the fuel.
No, he's got plenty. And look at that. And it is Tyson McAvoy for Performance Sim Racing
Well done,
with a
son.
surprise
Come
victory
on.
with a
Woo!
massive fuel strategy that has brought him the W. That's awesome work from the boss.
Oh, I'm super impressed, Cal. I don't know about you, but that is absolutely
Oh,
incredible.
it's going to be great to get him in. Run out
Yeah.
300 metres before the flag, John reckons. Well, he got there, mate. So that was amazing. Just, yeah, completely surprised me. Scotty Callahan coming over for a P2. He would have thought he was on for P1 for sure.
Yeah.
And is that Stephen Callahan coming across the line to complete the podium?
Well done.
And I believe that is all of our runners finished.
Oh, everyone knows.
Oh, Tyson is got enough for a bit from the looks of it.
Tyson's like, get out of my way. I won. Let me do donuts. And he's got enough fuel to still do donuts. How is that possible?
We're going to have to get him in and talk about it, but that's the great thing about our broadcast here at SRW is we get the drivers in and have a chat to them about the race and how it panned out for them.
Oh, look at those beautiful marks as well. Oh, mate, we had small numbers tonight. What a stunning race, though. I think with the excitement of the safety cars and then the excitement of the finish and just seeing how much fuel strat and tire strat can actually and clutching it in and actually trying to save fuel can actually really pay off in the end, right?
Well, what a great race finish to the evening. So my team boss, Tyson McAvoy for Performance Sim Racing, has got the W tonight with an awesome fuel strategy. Pipping a resident alien Scott Callahan. And Stephen Callahan with a P3 drive. Had a great... Oh, whoops. What did I just do there?
Oh, Stephen Callahan had a great drive as well. And then Steven Sinkovich in fourth as well. Come on, son. Beat your brother finally. Leon Williams in fifth. Dean Sinkovich in sixth.
Yeah,
Leon
I'm going to
Williams.
bring in Leon as well.
Yeah, Callan Hodgkinson in seventh. Nathan Verdi in eighth. And Peter Baxter, our illustrious safety car driver, had a few laps tonight. And thank you very much for all your hard work as always. And thank you very much to the promo department. And big shout out to DSL Welding Services for all your illustrious sponsorship and awesome support. Thank you.
Alrighty, well let's go and I'll go and grab a few of the boys and see if Leon wants to join us. So I'll leave it with in your capable hands for a moment, Toddy, and I'll see if I can go and get a few of the boys.
Sweet as, sounds good. As we saw tonight, guys, a bit of a smaller field, and as you can see, very, very, very bumpy. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you haven't been around this track, you haven't driven this track. I've driven this track in many a cars, and until this afternoon when I started doing a bit of practice, and these guys didn't realize how bumpy this track truly is. And I can really sympathize with all the F1 drivers and stuff like that when it comes down to porpoising and all those sort of things. Within about 5 or 6 laps around here in the Radicals, your arms feel like they're going to shake off when you're in a direct drive. So I sympathize with these guys, and and he's got serious pace and great strat tonight. So we'll hand back to the boys for interviews. Mr. Cowie, have we got the boys in? It seems Mr. Cowie has left out a spot, so we shall bring in. Oh no, Mr. Cowie is back. Okay, we'll just. So massive shout out, guys. So, as we're waiting on the rest of the guys to jump in, just make sure you hit that notification bell. Big shout outs to all your friends. Share, love, subscribe to all our channels. SRW TV, Sim Racing World, and we'll hand to the drivers and hand to you, Cowie. Much love, brother.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, sorry, I must have had a bit of a glitch there as I started talking and you were already talking, buddy.
Oh,
That's cool. Oh, I didn't hear it, so. All right, so we've got our podium in here. We've also brought Leon Williams in to have a chat with Leon as well. But Tyson, first, my team boss for Performance Sim Racing, the W buddy. How the hell did you pit on lap 3 and get home, mate?
So, thanks to Big Dodds, he noticed there was 52 available litres to put in the tank on the pit stop. So I quickly did the calculations, and he's like, "Yeah, we can pit and go home." So I was all right, sweet, we'll pit, and go home.
So spotter tonight, Harry with the call, awesome to see. And
Doddsy.
well, and Scotty, we thought you were going to be able to make it home from lap 6, buddy. What happened there?
I could have. It's just I put it into the wall, so I thought, no, I'll go and get a fresh car.
Okay. All right, because that was the battle there, and you let Tyson get away with it, mate.
Yeah, well, I actually thought he'd have to pit again. I didn't realise you could put extra fuel in. But when I pitted and with the safety car, I thought, well, that'll get me home.
Yep.
I didn't realise he did the same thing, though.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, look, it was a good battle out on track. How was the bumps, boys? So I'll start with you first, Tyson. How much of a handle was the car out there?
I'd say during practice, it was a bit of a handful. But once you get into a line and you stick to a good line, you don't really notice the bumps much, as long as you hold a relatively good line. I think the supercars as well do the kind of same thing, avoid those bumps down the back straight in the middle of the circuit, and yeah, I just stuck to that, and you didn't really notice them unless you hit the curb. Then it kind of kills you. But yeah.
But as we've seen, sort of race after race, cold tyres is a bit of a nightmare.
Well, at the start, it wasn't actually my tyres that hurt me. It was my double downshift problem. So that's the reason why I spun twice and gave Scotty the lead again. And then at the start, when I had an amazing start and then spun behind him, it's the double downshift on my wheel. So I know what I'm doing with this wheel after this race. It's got a win to it, so I can throw it now with a big smile on my face. So.
Alrighty, well, we will let you give a spruik to all of our sponsors at Performance Sim Racing, buddy. So take it away, and then we'll have a chat to Scotty.
Yeah, just big shout out again to Harry for noticing the fuel. Wouldn't have been able to definitely chime that in without him. So yeah, big shout out to you, Harry. But sponsors, hashtag Talk to Me Bro for our men's mental health initiative. Major sponsor of my car is CowieMusic.com. West End Motor Group and Parramatta Isuzu Ute.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome. So, Scotty, bit of fun starting from the back there. When you pitted early, was that more just to keep yourself at the back so you could have another go at them?
Yeah, I just thought I'd pit. I didn't realise you could stick extra fuel in. Obviously, the second time I went into the pits, I did. And I must have had enough fuel. But the first time I pitted, I actually changed tyres because they had it selected. So then I reselected them again for my next pit stop, but then it changed tyres again. So I did a double tyre change. But yeah, no, that was a bit of fun. Oh my God, this track is just unbelievable. It puts a smile on your face and poo in your pants.
Oh.
I love that. That's awesome.
It is evil track as far as I'm concerned, but that I had an ordinary official last night in the supercars here last night. But Scotty, you got any sponsors you want to give a shout out to? Anyone spotting for you there that deserves a bit of love from the SRW team?
No, unfortunately, I'm all on my own. No. Well, do you need spotters?
Tyson seemed to benefit from a good one picking up the fuel tonight, so I suppose it can't hurt, mate. But no, look, you seem to love driving these cars and seem to be able to, send them sort of where everyone else. I noticed last week at Watkins Glen you were braking so much deeper and taking a faster run through T5. And tonight, you like this place, mate. Just get into the flow with it.
Oh, you have to. I was actually sitting behind the front too when I was just all out of groove. That's why I backed off. I backed right off and then got back in the groove again, but then I caught them pretty quick. So, you need to be in a groove around here. Once you get out of groove, if you just hit the throttle at the wrong time over a bump, then you're into the wall. Any little mistake and you're in the wall.
Was there a lot of front aero wash as well that makes it a bit difficult?
In the toe, it was horrid, but I don't know whether it was they were sort of stuffing my lines up because I seem to be taking completely different lines to the other guys too. It was just horrid. So that's why it dropped back. And once I got clear air, even with the damaged car, I was doing low 23s. So
yeah, we saw that, buddy, and only a couple of tenths off the world record, apparently the boys were saying. So you still got pace, man. But awesome P2 tonight. We will now have a chat with Steve Callahan. No relation. Steve, that was a pretty fun race for you, mate. You were right in the middle of it there for at least the first half of that race.
Yeah, it was a great night, great track. Absolutely love it. First 15 laps after the safety cars at the start were just the biggest pressure cooker. I can sort of run that pace normally hot lapping, but when I was between Tyson and Scott, it was just horrendous, which is why I ended up pitting when I did, just because I wanted to get out of there and run my own race, or I was going to bin it. It's hard concentration.
Full pressure, it looked like.
As Scotty said, it's easy that sometimes it can throw you off your lines and stuff like that as well, so when you're trying to follow another car. But we could see that the toes still kept you in it, didn't it? So even if they got away from you in the windy section, you had that toe just to stay with them there.
Yeah, 100%. Those two straights do make a massive difference. But it's hard enough running this place on your own with the sort of the bumps play with your vision a bit. And then when you got somebody in front and somebody behind to watch, it's just a nightmare, but I still love it.
It's a place that I love to hate, I think. But but then again, I'm still bitter from my race last night. So, well, Stephen, P3 again for you. So another podium, buddy. Have you got any sponsors you want to give a shout out to, or any mates that were helping you out tonight?
No, just me on this side of it, but coming close to the end, good chance it's the last time I'll be on here, so I'll just throw a thanks out to the SRW boys. It's first season here and absolutely loving it, so thank you.
Awesome, mate. Well, it's great to have you with us, and great to see you have another good drive tonight and get up on the podium. Now, Leon Williams, we've brought you into the chat here tonight. It's your first time down in the broadcast booth, buddy. P5 tonight, a pretty good drive for yourself, buddy.
If I hadn't have taken my teammate out, but we won't talk about that. I'm hoping you didn't have that. You didn't get that on the broadcast, did you?
We might have got that on the broadcast, but I was going to be kind and not lead with it at least. I wasn't going to throw you completely under the bus, buddy.
The sad thing is, in the practice, I did not on that same corner, but on a different corner, I did exactly the same and landed on my head as well.
No, so you just went in a bit deep there, man. Couldn't get it stopped, and then Nathan was fully trusting behind you and just sent it in thinking you'd gone through, eh?
Yeah, the sort of semi-cold tyres after running around for a little while behind the pace car, I think it was, but I think that's when it was. Can't remember now. But yeah, tried to turn and she just didn't turn. But
I know you've had some interesting moments in these cars this season, mate. What have you thought of them? Jumping in. Had you driven the Radical much before you jumped and joined SRW?
not a great deal, and I've got to admit I don't do a great deal of officials. I sort of tend to stick with the league racing, which I find a lot more enjoyable than the officials. So I guess getting the experience of being around traffic and stuff like that. I love the fact that we've got a broad mix of drivers' capabilities in this league. Pity we haven't got the numbers. For such a great car and great combination of tracks, you would you'd like to see a few more numbers there. I think. But had a ball
look,
and
I'm glad you
learning
did,
every
buddy.
week. Learning every week.
Awesome, mate. Well, I mean, look, that's what it's all about. I call myself Cowie, your average sim racer, because I have no qualms that I'm fast in any car around here. But you know, for me, it's all about finding those battles on track with the various guys. And, you know, I suppose in league, I see it in the V8 official seems to be pretty good. I know the GTs, I have a similar opinion of them as you do. But you get used to driving with those same guys and everyone, you become respectful, you know. So, and you've had some good battles out there with the Sinkovich boys and Callan and that around you. So, and P5 tonight, mate, you must be fairly happy with yourself.
Yeah, it's as I say, if I hadn't have taken Nathan out, I'd be a lot happier. But
Technically, he hit
it's
you, mate. Technically,
yeah,
he
exactly,
hit you.
and
That's right.
it's kind of a tradition for the Locked On boys to take each other out in a race at some stage. So I think we've ticked that one off for the series.
Awesome. Well, we have brought you into the broadcast room, so we cannot go amiss without letting you spruik the sponsors for the Locked On machine. So if you've got the list there, mate, go ahead and give us a spruik of all your sponsors.
Definitely. Clearly, at the front of the car, we have the Q Club, best barbecue place in Melbourne, and also best suppliers for barbecue rubs and all that sort of stuff. They're online as well, so have a look at those. Williams Brown and Co, the guys that look after your moustache. And of course, the Locked On guys. Wouldn't be here without them. They are a fantastic group, and yeah, learning every time I go out.
Awesome, buddy. All right. Well, Shibby or Toddy, you guys got any questions for the boys before we wrap up tonight's broadcast?
No, just a comment. I just still can't stop laughing from Scotty saying it's a kind of track. I think this really sums it up. It's the kind of track that puts a smile on your face and pull in your pants. That's just great. That's awesome. That 100% sums it up. It is. It's one of those ones that keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And even though we had a small field tonight, kept us on the edge of our seats the whole time. So thank you very much, boys.
Well, it's certainly made for an entertaining race. God. So just to put another faux pas in there. But that will bring us to the end of our coverage of round 9 of the SRW V8 Radicals series here on Sim Racing World TV. As always, it's been awesome having you guys with us. John and Dave out there, thanks for your chats in the YouTube chat. I know there was a few others on the Facebook, guys. We'd love having your comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and follow us on those socials so that you don't miss out any of the action, because we want you with us every time we get on board and get to talk about these races. So on behalf of the management and broadcast team here at SRW, Chef Toddy on comms, our producer Nathan Shibby Howard behind the scenes, this is Cowie, your average sim racer, signing off, saying good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on SRW TV.
Much love, legends. Keep safe.